Hey everybody, welcome to Monday Marriage Moment. I'm Jason, she's Renee. We've been married for 100 and something years, 31 years. We are not marriage experts or marriage counselors, but we do love our marriage and we love your marriage and we want it to be better. So we put these videos on, and we, for the last 9.5 weeks, have been using these videos to specifically apply what we're learning on Sunday from the love chapter, 1 Corinthians 13. And this is the last one. Finally, we're finally there.
We finally made it.
And at the conclusion of Paul's explanation of the application of love, he makes 4 always statements that love always does these 4 things. And now the word always means it on every occasion, or whenever there's an opportunity, or without ceasing. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. So today we're going to talk a little bit about those first 2. Love always protects and love always trusts. A better way to think about trust is believes the best. So love believes the best about a person. So what are your thoughts on that? Believing the best about your spouse?
It's something that we have to choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it just basically is what you said in the sermon yesterday, giving your partner the benefit of the doubt when there's some question of why they did something or why they did something that hurt. You have to train yourself to do this. You automatically just believe the best, give them the benefit of the doubt, a generous explanation for what happened.
Right. There is always going to be a gap between what you expect and what you experience. Mm-hmm. And that's where wounds and offense happen, in that gap. And you get to decide what you fill the gap with. When what you expect is not what you're experiencing, then you can do one of 2 things: assume the worst or believe the best.
Yeah.
And assuming the worst sets up your marriage for a whole lot of disappointment, a whole lot of angst, a whole lot of difficult conversations, a whole lot of pain if you always assume the worst. Love does the opposite. Love always believes the best. So when that becomes your first reaction, your marriage will improve. If your first reaction is to assume the worst, you got some work to do. Mm-hmm. You got some changing of the way you think.
Right.
One pastor said that to believe the best about someone is to give them the most generous explanation for their behavior until you can't anymore. Sometimes behavior can be really bad and toxic over and over and over and over, and it becomes a cycle. And so you at some point have to stop believing the best and then just accept that this is a behavior that has to change. But if it's not something like that, if it's the occasional wound, the occasional hurt, the not a habitual behavior problem, then you have to teach yourself to believe the best about your spouse. I believe that he did not mean to hurt me. I believe that he doesn't even know that what he said hurts. Those kind of thoughts need to rattle through your brain.
Yeah. And when I think about that, I definitely want you to do that for me. So I need to do that for you.
That's
it
a really
kind of
good
works
point.
Both ways.
I want you to believe the best about me, not assume the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm. The second one is really important. They're all important, but I think this one we're going to talk about next is absolutely critical. It is love always protects. And the word that Paul is using there is a word picture for a soldier who is standing with a sword, a spear, and a shield. And that soldier is there to protect something that's weak or something that's vulnerable. And I think if we began to view our marriages not necessarily as weak or vulnerable, but as an opportunity for our enemy to attack, then we would learn to protect our marriage. And I think protecting your marriage is the thing you should protect most passionately in life.
Yeah, it's our most valuable possession. And if we really believe that, then we would do anything to protect it.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to protect your marriage from yourself, your own thinking. Sometimes you have to protect your marriage from outside influences, other relationships, social media, internet, television shows. There's lots of things you can protect your marriage from. We were having a conversation in a home group yesterday, and one of the couples was talking about whenever there's a trip, a work trip, that they always try to take the spouse with them. They don't ever travel alone or with a boss or with a coworker. They take a spouse with them. I just thought that was so wise.
Very smart.
Yeah, we call that a guardrail. You set up a guardrail so that you don't have a crash.
And you don't even want to give the vision or the idea to someone else that didn't even know that you're traveling together like that.
Right.
It was even just
The
what it
appearance.
looked like, the appearance.
Yeah, that's exactly what they said. We didn't even want it to appear like we were doing anything wrong. Just having an opportunity. That's a love that always protects. That's a love that values the marriage and is willing to do something kind of drastic in some people's eyes to protect it. And I think that's really wise.
Yeah, and we were talking just a little bit before we started that those of us that are in a Christian marriage are I think we even enjoy the protection from God because He fights for marriage. He
Absolutely.
loves marriage and designed marriage for us, for our benefit. And I think He fights to protect it too, especially when we do. And so that just gives us an even more deeper protection.
So love always trusts, it always protects, it always hopes, which is to point to a better future, and it always perseveres. It literally means love always never quits. So you can't quit. Love never quits. So that's all we've got for this week and really for this whole series. I have no idea what we're going to do next week.
We'll figure it out.
If you got questions or something you'd like for us to discuss, I would love to hear that. Comment on this or send me an email and we'll answer that as best as we can.
Yeah.
Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. See you guys later.
Bye.